Want to tell those characters, the ones who are telling us, giving us lectures.
You know, all these walls we build around ourselves as leaders, they're very fake walls. They can just crumble. At the end of the day, the power is with the people.
In the heart of Kenya's Trans Nzoia County, a fiery voice is shaking the foundations of the nation's political landscape. Governor George Natembeya, a former security chief turned politician, has taken aim at the Kenyan government with a series of explosive statements that have sent shockwaves across the country. His words, delivered with unyielding conviction, paint a grim picture of a nation teetering on the edge of chaos, ignored by a leadership unwilling to face the truth. On July 9, 2025, during an interview with a local radio station, Natembeya did not hold back.
Because this government doesn't like to be confronted with the truth. Kenyans are raising very, very pertinent issues, but is the government willing to listen?
His words cut deep, accusing the Kenya Kwanza administration of stifling dissent rather than addressing the growing frustrations of its citizens. From economic struggles to unemployment rates nearing 60%, Natembeya argues that the government is ignoring the very issues threatening to unravel the nation.
When you raise these issues, instead of them responding to the issues, they use the alternative way, and that's silencing you.
The governor's critique did not stop there. Drawing a chilling parallel, he warned that Kenya is on a dangerous path, one that mirrors the collapse of Haiti.
So what happened in Nairobi here, where you saw people, what wamebeba mipini carrying rungus and they're working with police officers, it was the same thing. This one were carrying stones and behind them were police officers. The government is playing with fire. This is how Haiti started. You know, criminal gangs are going to take over this country, and even those policemen are not going to be safe. That for me, that was the biggest worry for me. Why do you stop somebody from?
Natembeya's reference to Haiti, where gangs have seized control of major cities like Port-au-Prince, and has caused his fear that Kenya's failures to address rising crime and public discontent could lead to a similar fate. At the core of Natembeya's message is a call for accountability. He describes Kenya's governance as a disorganized kiosk, a scathing metaphor for a system he believes lacks direction and coherence.
You know, we are just running this country like a disorganized kiosk, and as long as we are doing this, Kenya will not develop. Actually, we have done a lot of disservice to this country. We're not supposed to be where we are now, where unemployment is almost 60%. The chances of you living an entire lifetime without a job in this country is very real. Not because you've not gone to school. You've gone to school, but you can't get a job. You can't get a job. Yeah, and that's what these young people are talking about. We are taking it very casually. We are not addressing it very well, and because we think, because we are leaders, we are very safe. You know, let me just give an example. If today 1 million Kenyans decided to walk to State House, what are they going to do? Are they going to kill everybody?
Despite the presence of highly educated cabinet secretaries, Natembeya argues that their potential is wasted.
I look at people in the cabinet. They are very qualified. Some are even overqualified. But what are they doing? What are they doing? Do they even have any somebody coming up with a policy decision that you look at and say, yes, indeed, this person is addressing this problem? Like when Michu came up with this Matatu thing, and he was just doing very basic things, seat belts, speed governors, no standing passengers, just sit, and enforced, and things worked. Do we have any cabinet secretary today who can come up with a decision and implement it without any hindrances? I think that's where the problem is. Do they have even the courage to face the president and tell him, Mr. President, you gave me this portfolio and I wanted to run it this way, and I think that too many incumbents in my office, I can't run it? Or they just go down and run down the clock and say, I'm cabinet secretary, let me do business for the next 2-3 years.
Natembeya's most provocative statement came when he called for a revolution, not one of violence, but of mindset.
There will be a serious revolution. In fact, for me, my daily prayer every day I wake up is for Kenya to start relating their problems with the kind of political leaders they have. The moment the Kenyans just do that, we are going to have change in this country. So like when you go to the market to go and buy a cow, people are very thorough. You don't even know the history. Which breed is this? How much milk does it produce? All this, you are very, very thorough, and the sicknesses and so forth. But for leaders, we just sloganeering, and then, you shout all over the place. Then you go and vote. Some are on the queue going to vote, and they're asking each other, we are that callous and that casual. But the moment we start relating our problems with the leadership that we have, the salvation of Kenya.
On Wednesday, President William Ruto vowed to deal with those plotting to oust him from power unconstitutionally. Speaking at the Kilimani police station after inspecting a police housing project, President William Ruto said that he will not allow anyone to use violence to remove him from the nation's top seat. He dared anyone to attempt the move before the 2027 general election, noting that he can no longer maintain his silence and enough is enough.
Mimi nimenyamaza, mimi nimewavumilia, lakini mahali imefika. Enough is enough. I want to say that for the avoidance of any doubt.
The president further fired at his detractors, questioning why his regime is being violently attacked while his predecessors did not receive similar backlash. The vexed president further insisted that he will, quote, use whatever means that is available to ensure that national security is upheld and those sponsoring violence have been dealt with decisively.
Kwanza niliona ati wanasema ati sasa hawatangojea 2027 ati tupige kura. Ati wanataka kupanga fujo. Ati wapange maandamano. Ati wachome mali ya watu. Ati walete maafa Kenya. Ati ndio wapindue serikali ya Kenya kabla ya 2027. Mimi nataka niwaambie wajaribu. Watajua hawajui. Wajaribu.
Natembeya's criticism has drawn sharp backlash from Kenya Kwanza allies, including Kapseret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi and President William Ruto's close aide Farouk Kibet, who accused him of fueling ethnic division and neglecting development in Trans Nzoia. On May 19th, Natembeya faced a dramatic arrest by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC over alleged corruption charges totaling to 1.4 billion shillings, which he and his supporters claim are politically motivated to silence him. Despite being barred from his office for 60 days and facing ongoing legal battles, Natembeya remains defiant, vowing to continue speaking out. The Governor's Tower movement launched to challenge what he calls dishonest politicians in Western Kenya as further escalated tensions. Political heavyweights like National Assembly Speaker Moses Masika Wetangula and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi have dismissed his criticisms, while others, like Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa, accused him of meddling in regional politics. Yet, Natembeya's 70% approval rating in a 2022 InfoTrack survey and support from local youth and professionals suggest he is striking a chord with many Kenyans who see him as a voice for the voiceless. As Kenya grapples with these turbulent times, Natembeya's warnings raise critical questions. Is the government's approach to dissent pushing the nation toward a breaking point? Can Kenya avoid the fate of Haiti? Or is it already on a slippery slope? One thing is clear, Natembeya's bold stand has ignited a national conversation, forcing Kenyans to confront the state of their leadership and the future of the country. Newsroom, Maisha TV, reader carrying Chebet.